Welcome to the epic finale of this 5-part series unveiling 50 urban legends from the United States. Since our expedition began, we have traversed the length and breadth of the American landscape, unearthing some of the untold tales that have echoed through it. Each state has revealed its unique enigma, drawing us deeper into the labyrinth of myth and intrigue. In this last chapter, we stand at the precipice of enlightenment, poised to unveil the final collection of urban legends, forever etching their stories into the annals of American lore. Thank you for watching. If you like to support this channel beyond liking, subscribing and sharing, you can always send me a one-off donation, for which there is a PayPal link in the description down below, right next to where it says buy me a coffee, so please do that if you're so inclined. But without further ado, here are the final 10 American urban legends. Described as a tall, thin skeleton of a man, dark as night, Walking Sam wears a black top hat and the souls of his victims dangle from his arms. Reported to live in the woods, and you can tell if he's nearby when you hear a whistling coming from the trees. But beware, once you hear the whistling, it's already too late. He's already in your head, and soon you will begin to hear voices telling you that you're worthless and that you should take your own life. More than just another urban legend, Walking Sam has his roots firmly planted in Native American lore, closely connected to the Stick Indians, or Shadow People. These Stick Indians are malevolent and dangerous beings that live in the forest. Some tribes have described them as supernatural beings that resemble Native Americans, referring to them as little people, while other tribes claim they resemble Bigfoot. Despite the difference in appearance, the similarities lie in their elusive nature and the fact that they are rarely seen and completely nocturnal. Their language can't be described as speech, but more like sounds of morbid birds. Only aggressive when they are provoked, Stick Indians are said to mostly keep to themselves, but if disturbed, will be vindictive and seek revenge. Possessing powers of mental persuasion that allow them to induce dread, confusion and anxiety in their victims. In extreme cases, they are known to cause instant insanity in humans. These Stick Indians are so feared that it's hard to find anyone willing to speak of them, and Walking Sam is believed to be the most powerful of these beings. To the Oglala Sioux, a tribe on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota, Walking Sam is more than just a story, fable or legend. He is real, and in 2015 reminded people that he would never be forgotten. As of 2015, the reservation had a population of just under 17,000. From December of the previous year up until May, there was a reported 103 attempts of people trying to take their own lives. 9 people between the ages of 12 and 24 were, unfortunately, successful, and it's been reported that over a 3-month period, the attempted unaliving rate was as high as 241. The question then remains, were they influenced by Walking Sam? A potential answer came in the form of a Facebook post in February of 2015. Oglala Sioux Tribe Vice President Thomas Poor Bear reported that a parent had shown him an alarming post. It was a photo of nooses hanging in the trees near Porcupine, a community of about 1,000 people. Tribal police removed the nooses, but they believe that they were left there as an invitation. Teenagers subsequently gathered in a wooded area nearby where they tied nooses around their necks. Fortunately, a pastor named John Two Bulls received a tip about the group and was able to stop them before anyone was harmed. Vigilant teachers were able to step in and stop students before they were able to commit this terrible act. During the counseling of the teens, a common thread revealed the presence of a tall man spirit who appeared to them and told them to kill themselves. When questioned, Oglala Sioux Tribe President John Yellowbird Steele told of an entity like a malevolent spirit similar to that of the infamous Slender Man. John Yellowbird Steele was forced to declare a state of emergency. The old Trinity Church in Mason, Tennessee is an Episcopal church that dates back to 1847. It is located on the property of what was previously St. Andrew's Church, which burned in 1845. Over the years, the church fell into disrepair and members of a nearby cult trashed the building, breaking the gravestones and vandalizing the structure. One of these graves held the body of a woman who had died in 1912, and it's believed that the statue of her grave bleeds from the eyes and neck. The bleeding statue isn't the only horrifying element of the old church. Legend has it that both the church and graveyard are haunted, with people reporting that they have heard strange noises and have seen lights flickering on and off, even though the building is no longer in use. Many believe that those laid to rest in the cemetery are distressed over the vandalism that occurred, and their spirits remain to express their displeasure in terrible ways. And it's said that if you wander the cemetery grounds long enough, you just might catch a glimpse of something from another world. With fiery red eyes, the Goatman stands on guard at the old Alton Bridge. He is the master of the bridge, possessed by a demon from another realm. Approximately 3.5 miles, or 5.6 kilometers from present-day Corinth, Texas, stood the small village of Alton, population 1. In 1848, Alton became home to the Denton County seat, so a 145-foot or 44-meter bridge was constructed to connect the town of Alton to Denton. For more than a century, the bridge served the locals, initially carrying horses from one side to the other, and then eventually motor vehicles. Today, the bridge remains open only to pedestrian traffic, though there is more to this bridge than just the iron that it was made of. The bridge is haunted, and not by any ordinary ghost. It's home to a demon known as the Goatman. There are few stories about how the bridge got its nickname. However, the most popular one is the story of Oscar Washburn. In the 1930s, an African-American man named Oscar Washburn settled with his family near the bridge. Oscar was a goat farmer, and it wasn't long before the locals began to refer to him as the Goatman. His business was successful, and that angered many people in the area. Then, Oscar made what some call a grave mistake. He hung a sign on the bridge that advertised, "This way to the Goatman." This angered the local clansmen of the area, and on a dark night in August 1938, they went to Oscar's home, dragged him out, away from his family, and onto the bridge, fastening a noose around his neck and pushing him over the side of the bridge. But when they looked over to make sure he was dead, all they could see was an empty noose. Oscar was gone. The Klansman then returned to the Washburn home and killed his wife and children. Since that fateful night, strange things began to happen on and around the bridge. Ghostly figures and strange lights have been seen in the surrounding woods. One of these figures is a man herding goats. Another is an apparition holding a goat head underneath each arm. The site became a hot spot for Satanists performing rituals that led to the opening of a gateway into another realm. The gateway went both directions, and now the most popular sighting of the creature resembles a half goat, half man. Utah is home to many mysteries and legends, but perhaps none are more chilling and terrifying as the curse of Escalante Petrified Forest.
I'm afraid of getting in trouble.
People say that if you take a piece of petrified wood from the park, you'll be cursed. The curse is supposed to bring bad luck and misfortune to anyone who removes wood from the forest.
A lot of it says that they had lost a job, or there was a death in the family, or they got into a bad accident.
Many people who have taken wood from the park have reported experiencing a string of bad luck and misfortune in their lives.
I believe in the world of the spirit, and I don't know. I think it's very possible.
Everything from car accidents and financial struggles to relationship problems and health issues.
On an average for a month, it could be anywhere from 45 pounds to 100 pounds.
There are signs posted throughout the park warning visitors not to take any wood. It's not only against the rules, but it's also believed to bring on the wretched curse. Park rangers have even reported strange occurrences and haunting sightings around the park, making them believe that the curse is real. Despite the warnings and the stories, some people still take the wood. They believe that the curse is nothing more than an urban legend.
I'm not too sure that it would be a natural curse.
But for those who have experienced the curse firsthand, it's a chilling reminder of the power of legends and beliefs. Some are even trying to break the curse by returning wood back to the park. The curse on Escalante Petrified Forest remains one of Utah's most terrifying legends, inspiring fear and fascination in those who dare to explore its mysteries. The question is, would you take the risk or heed the warnings and leave the park untouched? In the depths of the Vermont countryside, there's an eerie legend that consists of a haunting tale of a group of deep frozen folks who are said to have roamed the wilderness for decades. It's a legend that's both chilling and captivating, leaving many to wonder if the deep frozen folks really exist. Deep in the woods of Vermont, there was a small community of people who lived off the land. They were self-sufficient and it was their way of life. But during one extremely harsh winter, an unexpected snowstorm hit, trapping the villagers in their homes. With no way to escape, they eventually succumbed to the harsh elements, freezing to death as they slept. The story might have ended there, but something miraculous happened. The villagers' bodies were found years later, still preserved in the ice. But that's not all. Somehow, the villagers had managed to come back to life, preserved in a deep freeze for decades. and now they wander the woods seeking revenge on anyone who comes too close. Some say that if you're wandering the woods in Vermont, you can hear the deep frozen folks coming, the crisp snap of their frozen limbs as they shuffle through the underbrush, and if you pay close enough attention, you can feel their cold breath on the back of your neck. For those brave enough to go looking for them, the legend has more than a little truth to it. There have been sightings of these frozen wanderers over the years, and they're not to be taken lightly. For some, the deep frozen folks are a fascinating urban legend, but for others, they are a stark reminder of the unforgiving power of nature. Suffice to say, if you're ever in the Vermont woods and the air gets a little too cold, maybe it's time to head back to civilization. Otherwise, you could find yourself face to face with the deep frozen folks, a chilling memory that will last for years to come. In the early 1900s, a bus transferring asylum inmates crashed, with one of the inmates escaping in Fairfax County, Virginia. The patient was never found, but locals started to report sightings of a man wearing a bunny suit, and skinned, half-eaten rabbits were found hanging from trees near the Bunny Bridge, even after the supposed culprit had died. The Bunny Man was said to roam the streets at night, attacking humans, leaving bodies strung up in trees and over the bridge. Apparently, his favourite targets were the young and unsuspecting. The police tried to catch the Bunny Man, but he always managed to elude them. Even to this day, people claim to see the Bunny Man roaming the dark roads of Virginia. Some say he's a ghost, while others believe he's still out there, waiting for his next victim. If you ever find yourself driving down an empty road in Virginia and see a man in a bunny suit, don't stop. Keep driving and pray that you make it out alive. Washington State is home to many legends, but none have captivated the imagination quite like the story of the Caddy of Cadboro Bay. Described as a serpent-like monster or a prehistoric beast, the Caddy has been sighted several times over the last few decades by local residents and tourists alike. In 1963, a young couple, Frank and Jackie Wilson, saw a creature in the water that they described as a giant eel as thick as a log, with the head of a horse. They later drew a sketch of what they saw, and it closely resembled the serpent monster of Cadboro Bay. In an effort to shed some light on the mystery, a team of scientists from the University of Victoria conducted a study of the area in the late 1990s. The team found some interesting evidence, including possible bite marks on the remains of a sea lion. If Caddy really does exist, it is most likely an ancient species of marine reptile that has somehow survived to the modern day. Despite the exhaustive efforts to explain the legend, many people in the area still believe in the existence of the Caddy. Local residents remain wary of swimming in the bay, especially at night, and some even claim to have seen the monster with their own eyes. Is the tale of the Caddy of Cadboro Bay simply a legend? Or is there some truth to the stories of the sea serpent that still roams the depths of the bay? We may never know for sure, but the legend of the Caddy continues to fascinate and intrigue us. of West Virginia, there's an urban legend that's been terrifying locals for generations, known as the White Things. The legend states that the White Things are ghostly white figures that haunt the backwoods of West Virginia, pouncing on unsuspected travelers who happen to cross their path. Some say they are spirits of long-lost children who perished in the wilderness. Witnesses describe them as humanoid, but with long, spindly limbs and pale, featureless faces. They move with alarming speed and agility, making them almost impossible to evade. Despite the danger, thrill seekers still venture into the forests in search of the White Things. Some say they have captured evidence of these mysterious beings on film. Others say that the legend is nothing more than a cautionary tale passed down through the generations to prevent people from wandering too deeply into the wilderness. But one thing is for sure, the legend of the White Things will continue to live on in the hearts and minds of the people of West Virginia. Beware of the White Things, they might just be watching you. In the forests of Wisconsin, there lived a hideous creature known as the Hodag. It is a gnarled and stumpy critter with sharp spikes protruding from its tail, and it has long terrorized the people of Rhinelander. It's said to have originated in the forests of Rhinelander, Wisconsin, where it was first spotted by loggers in the late 1800s. According to the legend, the Hodag was discovered by Paul Bunyan himself, who is said to have helped capture the beast. Since then, the Hodag has become a local legend in its own right, featuring in countless stories and enduring as a symbol of Wisconsin's history and mythology. But what is the truth behind the Rhinelander Hodag? Is it a creature or simply a figment of the imagination? Many believe the Hodag was simply a hoax created by a local prankster, Gene Shepard.
That Gene Shepard captured the Hodag. And how did he capture it? He had a 10-foot bamboo pole. He had a huge sponge soaked in chloroform. And he managed to find out when the Hodag was in its cave and worked his way up there with that sponge and that chloroform and got the Hodag to go to sleep.
In 1896, Shepard claimed to have captured the creature, parading it around town and even exhibiting it at the Oneida County Fair. Despite the popular belief that the Hodag was nothing more than a fabrication, the legend of this fierce beast lives on, and who knows, perhaps there is some truth to the story after all. One thing is for sure, the Rhinelander Hodag is a beloved part of Wisconsin's history, a symbol of the state's unique identity and rich cultural heritage. Whether it's real or imaginary, the legend of the Hodag continues to strike fear into the hearts of some while captivating and inspiring others. Through the thick mist, usually in February, a ship can be seen sailing the Platte River, its phantom crew frosted over. On the deck, you'll allegedly see the body of someone you know or the body of you yourself. Either way, that person's death will soon come. According to the legend, the Platte River ship sails only in the dead of winter when the river is thick with fog and few dare to venture out, but those brave or foolish enough to try may be greeted with that terrifying sight. Many who have witnessed it swear they have either seen their own face, frost-covered and dead, or the body of someone they know and love who's been gone for years. They say that seeing someone you know on that ship means they'll die soon, and if you see yourself, well, best start saying your prayers. So what is this phantom vessel, and why does it haunt the Platte River? Some say it's a remnant of settlers who died in a brutal winter storm, their ship sinking beneath the ice. Others say it's the ghost of a riverboat captain doomed to sail for all eternity after cheating death one too many times. Historians say there are certainly records of riverboats travelling in the Platte River in the 1800s, but no mention of any tragedy that could be explained as this legend. Of course, that doesn't mean it isn't true. The Platte River ship remains one of the most potent and enduring ghost stories in Wyoming, and for those who dare seek it out, it may leave a mark they'll never forget. The question is, would you be brave enough to face the Platte River ship? That concludes this video, and the Urban Legends series as a whole. Thank you to anyone who watched, liked, and subscribed. Your support is truly appreciated, and I really do enjoy making these videos, and am very grateful that anyone at all is watching. There is definitely more videos to come, so until then, goodbye.